instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now. You're boxing the bell. God bless you both.
The last time a women's fight has headlined a pay-per-view boxing event was 2001. Layla Ali, Jackie Frazier lied.
It's rained a couple of times.
Claressa Shields, Marie-Eve Dicaire picking up the legacy here in Flint for all the hardware at 154 pounds.
In the world of professional boxing, certain fights transcend the sport, becoming cultural moments that highlight legacy, dominance, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. The unification clash between Claressa Shields and Marie-Eve Dicaire was one of those nights, a battle of undefeated champions. It carried not just belts on the line, but pride, history, and the chance to etch a name into the annals of the sport forever. Claressa Shields, famously known as the GWAT, the greatest woman of all time, entered the ring with 2 Olympic gold medals, world titles in multiple weight classes, and a reputation of being one of the most technically gifted and mentally strong fighters the sport has ever seen. Hailing from Flint, Michigan, Shields had carried the weight of expectation since her teenage
into this fight because she has absolutely nothing to lose. She's had belts, she's had world championships. At this point in time, she understands the risk, and compared to what she's gonna get, recognition, respect, it's a win-win situation for her.
Big snap counter from Shields, who said that last performance against Ivana Habazin was the sharpest she felt in her career, and she rattles Dicaire just a bit with 2 hands.
Years, and every step of her professional journey had been about pushing limits, breaking barriers, and proving that women's boxing belonged on the same stage as men's. On the opposite side stood Marie-Eve Dicaire, Canada's proud champion, undefeated at the time of the fight. She had built her reputation on skill, movement, and determination. For Dicaire, this wasn't just about defending her belt. It was about proving that she could beat the best, silencing doubters, and becoming the undisputed queen of the division. The fight itself had all the makings of history. It was one of the first all-female boxing events to headline in the United States, and was promoted as more than just a championship bout. It was a statement about the rise of women's boxing. Fans from the UK, USA, and around the globe tuned in, eager to see who would emerge as the undisputed champion. From the opening bell, Claressa Shields made...
The get-to-know-you round for Claressa Shields for sure. She came out as a very strong aggressor in that opening 2 minutes.
It's a calm aggression. As you can see, she was not really looking for Dicaire until she actually had her within her range. So she's being she's conserving energy. She's not just throwing punches. She understands that this could be a long haul.
Marie-Eve Dicaire, 34 years of age, and she picked up a unanimous decision victory in November of 2019 against Ogledi Suarez. A ranked welterweight out of Venezuela, lost just 1 round across the judges' scorecards.
Made her intentions clear. She controlled the center of the ring, her jab snapping out like a piston, forcing Dicaire to circle and retreat. Shields' hand speed was immediately evident, landing quick combinations that kept the Canadian on the defensive. Dicaire, known for her movement, tried to establish her rhythm, but Shields' pressure never allowed her to settle. By the 2nd and 3rd rounds, the pattern of the fight became clear. Shields was the aggressor, walking Dicaire down, cutting off the ring, and landing accurate punches to both head and body. Dicaire, to her credit, showed excellent footwork, slipping some shots and trying to counter with her straight left hand. But Shields' defensive awareness kept her safe from any significant damage. The American champion was not just faster, she was sharper, stronger, and more precise. The middle rounds highlighted the gap in class between the 2 fighters. Dicaire
wants to stay nimble on her toes. Remember, at this point in time, because she is a southpaw, there's a danger that Claressa could step on her foot and then avoid her mobility, and it's exactly what happened to Minicus. Yeah. And that comes from martial arts as well. Always on your toes.
Marie-Eve Dicaire, a decorated black belt in karate. Started karate at age 6. Became a black belt at 11, a 5th-degree black belt here. And she realized karate was not an Olympic sport, so it was either taekwondo or boxing. She said, okay, I'll give boxing a try. See what this
His game plan was to frustrate Shields, to use lateral movement and avoid heavy exchanges. But Shields' relentless pressure and ring IQ dismantled that approach. Every time Dicaire tried to circle out, Shields would cut the angle, trap her near the ropes, and let her hands fly. The crowd roared as Shields landed crisp combinations that echoed with authority. What made the fight compelling was Dicaire's toughness and refusal to quit. She absorbed punishment, kept moving, and kept trying to find openings. But Shields was simply operating on another level. Her speed, her jab, her accuracy, and her ability to switch from attack to defense effortlessly showed why she has been called the most complete female fighter in history. By the 8th round, it was clear that Shields was in total control. Dicaire had moments of success with single punches, but she was never able to put combinations together or hurt Shields. Claressa's dominance was not just physical but psychological. She imposed her will, dictated the pace, and never gave her opponent a chance to breathe. The championship rounds were a showcase of Shields' conditioning and championship mentality.
It's not opening her space.
For only having one pro fight against a southpaw, coming a few years ago at that, her 3rd pro fight against Sydney LeBlanc, just the intuitiveness of keeping that lead leg on the outside. Yeah, you train it, and of course her trainer, John David Johnson, a southpaw. She says he's the toughest southpaw that she's ever faced.
Yeah.
But
even with a wide lead on the scorecards, she continued to press forward, throwing fast, accurate combinations, and proving that she wasn't content with just winning. She wanted to dominate. Dicaire, though still moving, was visibly worn down. Her output reduced, her confidence diminished. She survived, but the difference in class was evident to everyone watching. When the final bell rang, there was no doubt about the outcome. Claressa Shields had delivered a boxing clinic, pitching a near shutout on the scorecards. The judges confirmed what fans already knew. Shields was now the undisputed world champion of the division, unifying all the belts and cementing her legacy in the history of boxing. The post-fight reaction was electric. In the USA, Shields was hailed as a trailblazer, a fighter who had once again proven her dominance. In the UK, boxing experts praised her performance, comparing her ring control and dominance to some of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport.
Dicaire, Shields' his eyes, throwing an elbow there. Michael Griffin warning Dicaire. She gets met there by a vicious right cross from Shields.
That's her boxing acumen. You give her space, she's going to capitalize it. And that's exactly what she's doing right now.
And Dicaire didn't make the same mistake twice. Shields scraping here again with that right hand. They may have butted heads briefly. They work back to the middle of the ring here. This 154-pound unification.
Male or female, Marie Dicaire, though defeated, earned respect for her bravery, durability, and willingness to step into the ring with one of the greatest of all time. This unification fight was bigger than just the belts. It was about representation, growth, and progress for women's boxing. Claressa Shields' victory symbolized the evolution of the sport, from undercard attraction to main event stardom. She didn't just become undisputed. She carried the weight of women's boxing on her shoulders and elevated it to new heights. Looking back today, this fight remains one of the cornerstones of Shields' career. It showcased everything that makes her great: her technical brilliance, her mental toughness, her ability to adapt, and her relentless drive for greatness. It also highlighted the bravery of Dicaire.
Was it being made? Nope, now it's off again. All throughout.
Dicaire, who stood tall in the face of overwhelming odds and gave everything she had. The Shields versus Dicaire unification fight is remembered not only as a moment of dominance, but also as a turning point in the history of women's boxing. It proved that female fighters could headline, could unify, and could capture the attention of fans worldwide. It was the kind of night that inspired young girls across the globe to lace up gloves and believe they, too, could achieve greatness. Claressa Shields walked away that night with the belts, the accolades, and the recognition as the undisputed champion. But the fight gave something to the sport itself: legitimacy, visibility, and respect. Today, it is remembered as one of the most important fights in women's boxing history. A battle that proved the future is bright and limitless.
That is waiting for history to become official is our man Ray Flores. Let's go inside the ring, get the finals from Ray.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judges Perla Rodriguez, Mauro Di Fiore, and Robin Taylor scored the bout identical. 100 to 90 for your winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, and now the undisputed super welterweight champion of the world, from Flint, Michigan, Claressa T-Rex Shields.
So 100 to 93 across the board. Claressa Shields has become the first boxer, man or woman, to unify the 4 major titles in 2 different weight classes.
Historical. This is a history moment. So soak it up. I'm soaking it up.
They are belting up Claressa Shields inside the ring here after the victory over Dicaire. That'll improve her record in boxing to 11-0. Again, signed a 3-year deal with the Professional Fight League in December. She's expected to make her MMA debut later on this spring. It'll be right back to work. Late spring, early summer. I mean, yeah, June, May, June. Yeah,
Yeah, it worked for her.
we're on her time.
Yeah, true.
And that's what she wants.
Claressa time.
She wants 2 MMA fights, 1 more boxing fight.